So we've got time to take some calls. Let's dive into the phone panel. Welcome Frank, calling from Carroll, Ohio. And welcome to you, Frank. You're on the air. Hello, Frank. Are you there? Can we go from Frank, who was dozing off, to Chico and Warren. Hello, Chico.
Hey, what's going on, Uncle Bruce?
How you doing, Chico?
Raymond, you know who this is? This is Chico, who interviewed you for the Warren Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, what's up, Chico? How you doing, man?
I'm still waiting for those tickets, Raymond.
Come on, Chico.
How you been? Everything good?
Things are going well. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, Bruce got a heck of a show there, and you just added to it.
Cool.
What a great guy you are. A great interview, Bruce, just as you interviewed him yourself. But what I wanted to know is, what's the story on some of these latest recruits? Does it look like a Gold Star recruiting season or what? Can you share some names with us, Bruce or Raymond, please?
Well, honestly, Chico, I try and stay far away from that. Being someone who actually played and has a long history with football and recruiting, I have realized and I have seen there are guys that are known as like 4-star, 5-star recruits, blue chip, can't miss prospects who end up going to school and they end up not doing anything. And then there's a guy that basically flies under the radar, ends up being like really, really good. So I haven't really been paying that close attention, but I do know that we just signed like 2 more guys, or had 2 more verbal commits from guys who are considered 4-star prospects, and I think we're up to like 19 prospects at this point. And if you know anything about Urban Meyer, you know he's going to bring in a top 5 recruiting class.
Well, let me share this, which I aired earlier in the show, Chico. You may not have heard it, but the class stands right now at 19 and is ranked 4th in the country, behind Southern Cal, Alabama, Florida, and just ahead of Notre Dame and Michigan. The wide receiver defensive back Garion Conley from Massillon was in Columbus and gave Urban Meyer a commitment. He's a 6'2", 175-pounder. Also, another recruit, Mike Mitchell, linebacker from Plano, Texas, made an official visit and has indicated that he wants to go to Ohio State. He had postponed originally and has since indicated Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Florida State also were in the running, but he is certainly very much considering Ohio State. And lastly, Donovan Munger, I'm not sure. He is a defensive lineman. And he had his official visit at Ohio State this past weekend. He's 6'4", 290. He's considered a 4-star defensive line recruit. And as I was saying to Raymond a little earlier, I had heard that Meyer has got a commitment from some kid from the state of Florida, a defensive lineman that's supposed to be lightning fast and the best defensive lineman, considered the best defensive lineman in the country. Chico, are you there? I guess not.
You
what happened to him? He asked me a question, then he runs away. I don't know, Chico. I'm sure
intimidating.
He was had other commitments. I guess it was dinner time. We go to is this Zanesville, Ohio? Is it Ashland?
Oh yes, sir. How you doing today?
Doing fine, and welcome to the show.
Oh well, thank you so much. Well, to answer the last caller's question, be on the lookout for Tyler Lepi. He is explosive.
And he's a recruit coming in?
So I've heard. That's the rumor on campus.
And where's he from?
Cincinnati.
Do you know what high school? Okay, I don't know.
Well, that was time, man.
It must be you, man. I mean, come on.
Now you understand. This is my world. This is what I bring to the table.
Is this why you got out of broadcasting?
You got to be quick. Think on your feet. That's not my thing.
Dan in Canton, Ohio is next. Hello, Dan. You're on the air with Raymont Harris. Hello, Dan.
It's me, man.
I don't think so. No. Hello, Dan from Canton. Hello, Dan. You're on the air.
Hey, Bruce, this is Dan.
Yes, Dan.
Hey, what's up, Dan?
Hey, I love your show, man. And Raymond, OH?
I-O.
Right on, brother.
You know it.
My first little point is about Coach Tressel. I mean, I love the guy. I grew up in Canton, you know, close to Youngstown. I watched what he did his whole career.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he went to Indianapolis, took that little, whatever the kind of coaching job they called it up in the booth, or observer is what they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see the Browns maybe try to get him. I mean, Shermer done all right. If he goes a couple more wins, I'd love to see him get a few chances. But I think Tressel is the guy because he can take someone like Pryor. He can take a running quarterback, or he can go with Krenzel. He can do anything. He's just adjustable. The coach is phenomenal. I've watched him my whole life. On top of that, I think Geiston is a better passing quarterback than than Braxton.
He came in and did a nice job in that game when Braxton went out.
That was so clutch.
Check the Buckeyes right down the field. That was really...
He's one of the most liked players on that team.
Is that right?
And to actually see him do that was
in the
awesome.
game and do that. You know, cold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, a couple little plays here or there. They weren't real bad, couple little misses, but just to get that warm coming off the bench and do that surprises me. And with Myers' history of the way he runs offense, I'm surprised he hasn't added him with Braxton in maybe the backfield or like a split or a wide out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, he's not doing too bad, Dan. He went undefeated in his first season, inheriting all the talent that he had.
Yeah.
So.
Right,
pretty
right.
good.
But I'm just looking towards the future. I just see this offense.
It's a very Buckeye-friendly schedule next year too, which you got to be careful about. But it is that the road game at California, Michigan on the road, but every other tough Big Ten, at least presumably on paper, is in Columbus.
In Columbus, and when you look at the schedule, it looks like it's definitely like in Ohio State's favor. So one of the challenges for Coach Meyer will be coaching a team that has just gone, undefeated, and making them know and feel that they're really not as good as they think they are.
Yeah,
because
and I think, to be honest, I think to put it in my terms as a Marine, that's a drill sergeant for the job.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, Dan. Thank you for the contribution. As we look at that schedule next year, let's take a second and look at that. Mm-hmm. Can we put that back up? That schedule. There we go.
Here we go.
California on the road. That'll be that's going to be a game taken very seriously. Wisconsin, we get at home.
Right.
They're going to be in an angry mood. Of course, they're going to have a new coach too.
They will have a new coach.
How about Bielema going down to the Southeastern Conference?
I was shocked about that. I really was.
Sir.
I thought he was. I thought he was at home there.
Iowa, we get at home. Mm-hmm. And then Michigan on this. So it is a we don't play Michigan State next year.
No Michigan State.
No Nebraska next year.
No Cornhuskers. No.
So where's the Penn State?
Penn State.
At home?
Yeah, right after Iowa as well.
So
when you look at that like on paper, I mean, it's not something that like jumps out and scares you as an Ohio State supporter. But like we said, they got to safeguard against like being lulled to sleep because it's going to be tough coming off of this season and then looking into that next season thinking, oh man, all we got to do is come up and come to the game and show up on the field and we're going to win. I'm sure Coach Meyer and his staff are going to make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm sure no Alabama supporter thought that Texas A&M with this Manziel character would go into
how good is he?
Into their home park and do what they did. My goodness,
no,
absolutely.
Not at all.
By the way, Alabama, Notre Dame, what do you think?
Alabama. Notre Dame is a great story. I'm not a big fan of Notre Dame, but we'll put that on the table. I'm not a big fan.
Right.
Great defense. They have some playmakers, and you can't argue with what Coach Kelly has done there. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the overall talent and how deep the Alabama team is, not to mention they're being coached by Nick Saban, who has already won multiple national championships, you got to believe they have the upper hand in this one.
Yeah, their defense is still very, very good, although I thought last year their defense may be one of the greatest I've ever seen in collegiate ball, and they're not as good as they were a year ago. So that means Golson is going to have to, and Riddick are going to have to complement each other like they did against Southern Cal.
Yeah, absolutely. But you look at Alabama last year and their team, look how many first-rounders they had come off of that team.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of young guys or guys that were, less experienced step into roles where they actually were contributing now. So now it's at the end of the season, and they're getting a whole, multiple weeks of bowl practice to get prepared for this. I would not bet against those guys.
They have two guys. The Associated Press All-American teams came out today. I went through this earlier, but let me do it now that Raymont's on the show. Two guys on offense, Warmack, the guard, and the center, Barrett Jones. And on defense, they've got two guys. So 4 guys out of the 22 on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball, first-team All-Americans from Alabama. And one of them may wind up with the Browns, this Milliner.
Yeah,
cornerback.
They got players, man.
Oh, they really do.
And that's another program that does not rebuild; they just reload, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, getting back to Saban, why would he leave?
I don't know.
I don't see it.
I don't get it.
Fred in Erie, Pennsylvania is next. Hello to you, Fred, and thank you for waiting. You're on the air with Raymont Harris today.
Hello, Bruce. Good to talk to you again.
You too, sir.
Raymont, I'm a diehard Browns fan, but I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Bears, and especially famous running backs like Gallimore and Sayers is well before your time.
Yeah, a little bit before my time.
I remember
Fred.
those guys. I remember Willie Gallimore and Sayers. Absolutely.
I'm sure you got a little bit of history from when you were with the Bears.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, the question I'm a Notre Dame fan also, so.
I was liking you, Fred. I was liking you.
A lot of Notre Dame fans in Chicago.
So many there.
One of the reasons is I came from an Italian neighborhood and we're all Catholic boys, So.
That makes sense. Now I understand.
And they have the greatest fight song in America, so that's.
Okay, that's to be
debated. But the question I have is it's kind of concerning me. All this talk about. The concussions in football and what's happened with the game itself. They're talking about maybe eliminating the kickoff returns and other things. And that having played and been really down, getting a feel for what's happening with this type of thing happening to your body and all that. Do you think there's more that they're going to be able to do, or are we in danger of losing the game?
Good question, Fred. Go ahead.
Yeah, I honestly, Fred, being someone who played the game at a higher level and played for multiple years, and I played a physical style of football. And honestly, when I look back at it, I probably had, I think I went through a whole session where I believe I had maybe somewhere between 16 to 18 grade 3 concussions.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm someone who actually has dealt with so much brain trauma after all my years of playing. And I'm here to tell you that this stuff is not made up. This is not like a joke. These guys are not just doing this to get money. I mean, there really are issues and problems that we have because it's truly a violent and very physical sport that our bodies really just aren't made for. I understand that the league is finally starting to not just pay lip service to this, but actually put some research behind it and actually alter the rules to be able to try and put safety at the forefront. But as a purist and as a guy who grew up playing it, I hate to see the game altered, but if it's for the best interest of the players, so not just for where they are right today, but where they are 10 and 20 years later,
right.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you see so many guys after their playing days. My goodness, it's sad. It really is.
It really is.
Fred, got to run. Thank you for the call. We'll take a break, come back for a final segment with Raymont Harris on All Bets Are Off.